Hey guys, welcome to Heart to Talk, the podcast. I am your host, Teresa Caesar, and you are listening to episode 52. Just imagine yourself part of this radiant waterfall of light. Know that financial abundance and prosperity are part of this. They're not separate. The more you see yourself as a vehicle for giving and receiving, the more everything that wants to come can come, and everything that wants to go can go. You yourself are a waterfall of abundance. Even if you don't see it in your bank account yet, it doesn't matter. See it coming in, see it going out. You're part of that waterfall of light. Tosha Silver. Friends, are you ready to turn up your frequency and learn some ways and how you can start tuning into the flow of abundance and prosperity? Well, I've got the perfect person here. I am bringing back my girl, Janice Noehulani. In this episode, she will be providing you some tips and powerful prayers to unmask and uproot some old money wounds, prosperity blocks, and stories, and to get you tuned into the vibration of prosperity. I bring to you my conversation with my favorite modern day mystic, Janice Noehulani. I am so honored and thrilled to have you back on the podcast to share you with the world because you do have so many incredible gifts.
Thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much for having me here. So my name is Janice Noehulani, and I'm a modern day mystic. I'm a natural born psychic. And I'm known to many as the bridge between the etheric and physical worlds. I'm a healer's healer and a healer's teacher. That's what I'm most known for. And what I do is I train people to use their intuition and their natural born gifts so they can live their fullest life. And that's what I love to do.
Every time I have an encounter with you, from just a casual to recording a podcast to what you post, and of course to working with you, just life enhancing and empowering.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Teresa. Wow, what an honor.
I have realized that love and money seem to be the two most sought out, biggest pain points, the top of all of our attention, our focus, what makes us feel elated, what brings us down.
Right.
So I just want to dive in and discuss the energetics of money. And what do you believe about money?
Well, that's a great question. You know, it's really funny because for so long, I didn't address money specifically. It seems like my clients tend to double and triple their income without ever having to talk about money once. And that's literally because what we're dealing with is their vibrational energy, right? Their frequency and what they're projecting out in the world unconsciously and subconsciously. Money just begins to flow. It's the symptom of being in alignment with your soul's purpose. Okay. But I started to address money very specifically in prosperity because I think many people right now are panicking around money. Now, I believe that everything is energy and money is no different. But what we've placed, our beliefs that we've placed on money are really quite harmful with the flow of money and prosperity moving through us. You know,
I know that before I expanded my consciousness on just all things, I subconsciously had a relationship with money that was not serving me in my life and all of that. So
absolutely. I mean, you're not alone in that. Many people have such confusing relationships with money. First of all, many people use it as a way to prove how they are failures, right? Because if you don't have enough, then, right? And that's just not true. And then also, a lot of people use it as a way to enslave themselves. Now, I know this is really tough conversation, but think about it for a minute. How many people work their tail off just to get that dollar? and they're never satisfied. And they're just working so hard day in and day out to make that buck, right? It's just another way to imprison themselves and then make money their captor in a way. The other thing is that I like to say, and you brought it up, that relationship to money is a lot like our relationship to love. You know,
Mm.
if we're telling money, for instance, money, why are you not paying enough attention to me? I don't see you enough in my life. What happens when you do that to your lover? Does it turn them on?
Oh,
Does it
yeah, and
help
it
them
turns them
lean
away.
in? Exactly. Right? So, you know, we have to uncover. I mean, we don't have to do anything, but I invite everyone who's listening to this to uncover their deeper stories about money and how they either abuse it or love it. You know, how do they talk to money so it leans into them and wants to serve them, or how they push it away? You know, this is really an important aspect of being in a cosmic flow with money and prosperity.
What are some money stories that you think stop the flow, or some limited beliefs, some money blocks that we do every day, maybe unconsciously, that someone listening might be like, oh my gosh, I do that. So it's good to identify so then you could do better, right? When you know better, you do better.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Like
I'm gonna
terrified,
give you
right?
an example of this, and this one
Okay.
you might have heard of. But for instance, when you pay your taxes. So when I pay my taxes, I bring so much joy to that because that means that I had a great year. Right? But so many people, when they're paying their taxes, are like, oh, I don't want to pay that bill. Oh, I don't want to pay that. Oh, you know what? The government, the government sucks, because they're making me pay this bill. Well, you know what? This is how you contribute to the infrastructure of our global network. Think about that for a second.
That is hilarious. But yes, I was a tax preparer and people had that same reaction
Right?
when they had to pay.
Right? But it's
Yes.
not just with taxes, it's literally with any bill. People can, instead of blessing their money and like, "Oh, I am so abundant, I can pay this bill, thank you." Now let me tell you something. Long ago, I was dirt poor. I had a family of 3 and we lived off of $400 a month. Do not ask me how in the world I did that. But we were incredibly happy, incredibly happy. We just lived off the land. Our life was incredibly simple. But there was a time, then fast forward a little bit, I became a single mother and I had to figure out my life. And I used to have this trick that I did where I would have my last 10 bucks or whatever, $100, and I would go and I would have a great time. I would just bless it. And I would ask it to return to me in 1,000-fold. And inevitably, as I did that, money always kept coming back into my life and supporting me. So through time, I learned to bless the money that goes out. And as time goes on, I never worry about money. It's the thing I worry about less because I'm always getting supported and filled by money. It supports me. It wants to serve me. And I give it so much love back. So, you know, I'm not saying to the people listening here, go spend your last dime. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying whatever you do spend, thank it for how it served you. We actually live in a very abundant universe. There's not a limited supply here. and and so bless what you send out and see it coming back to you in the form of love, in the form of wealth and prosperity.
I love that. It sounds like you got into this vibration of trust. Can we talk about some ways we can shift or expand our prosperity consciousness?
So first and foremost, I want to say that money is not the source of you. That's where we get it wrong. When we put too much emphasis on it being what makes us or breaks us. You and your source, God, universe, great spirit, whatever you want to call it, you and your relationship with that is the source of you. That is it. And when you begin to honor that trust and faith, you begin to let money off the hook, allow the
Mhm.
pressure gauge to come off. And
Mhm.
honestly, I'll tell you, there is a brilliant woman here on this planet that deals with this very specific topic. And I would like to say that I help people tap into this energy, but she's amazing. And her name is Tosha Silver. If you're not following her, I would totally suggest doing it. So,
I'm with you.
yeah,
I love her. Mhm.
absolutely. So, what she does is she teaches people how to allow a greater flow to come in by offering it. So, for instance,
Mm,
if you're worried about money, look a little deeper. Is it money or is it like security or safety? You see what I'm saying? It's
mhm,
just a deeper element to what you're feeling. And then you can say some of her divine offerings. For instance, if it was about security, divine beloved, help me become the person that can receive the support I need right now. Divine beloved, allow me, help me change into the person that trusts
mm.
deeply in my life and what I'm doing here. Help me be in my purpose so I am supported in a way that I never have to doubt that I will receive. Do you feel that?
Mhm, mhm. I like it, offering it. Offering.
Offering it. So it's not always, and you could be very clear, divine beloved, make me into the person that trusts in the flow of money coming into my life in great abundance.
I love that. So it's like a prayer, an offering, a prayer of offering.
It
So
it is more
mhm.
than it. What it is, it's putting your worries in the hands of Source.
Ooh, I love that. So tip number 1, offer by putting your worries in the hands of source.
That's right. So you don't have to hold it all because that's a lot. You
Mhm,
know, all
mhm.
everything we worry about throughout the day, so much. Give it over. Give it over and let spirit in to support you.
I love that. What would be your second one?
What is the question?
Another tip, another tip on how we could That's tip number
That's
1.
tip number
Do you have a do you have another tip that we can do daily, weekly, so that we can shift the prosperity conscious energy?
So, tip
Okay.
number 2 is have a conversation with your money. Now, if you're getting started in this world of the vibration of money, you want to uncover what your stories. And here's the thing,
Mm,
our parents gave us our money stories. And if they didn't, then our ancestors did, right? There's a lot of stories that exist within our cellular structure that we're not even aware of. So, have a conversation with money itself as if it's in front of you and listen to what it has to say to you. Now, for some of you who are kind of analytical, that might be a little wild, but you might be surprised about what you learn about yourself.
mm,
And then switch the story around, right?
mm.
You know,
Yeah,
just like flirt with money a little bit. I love to flirt with
flirt.
money. I'm
I
like,
love that, flirt with
come on over
money.
here, baby. Come on
Come
over
on
here,
over here,
honey.
you wild
That's
thing.
right. Come on. I love that. Come on over here, you wild thing.
I feel like people have, like, these roller coasters too, where they're just like, money, money, money's flowing in, and then all of a sudden there's like a drought.
Hmm.
What happens in that situation, do you feel like energetically?
I can speak about me. When money is not in the flow of my life, often it has to do with there's several things. I'm either making something wrong
Mm,
I'm not in alignment with what I'm meant to be doing, my purpose. You know, when you're in your purpose, money tends to flow quite easily, right?
mm,
But we also have to take the pressure off of that. So tip number 3 is get into joy, get into playfulness, get into some sort of, even like some seduction or flirtation or some sensualness in your life. Start igniting a different view. A lot of times, we just have to move our attention just 1% to allow a greater flow to come in, right? So if we're looking at money and we're like, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there, right? Well, that's what you're going to get. And we know that pretty clearly by the law of attraction and all these different things. But what I want to say is, you don't actually have to change and become a positive person all of a sudden. You just have to move your attention a tiny bit to what is working, to what ignites life into your prosperity, into your money, into you. And
mm,
when you begin to do that, it starts to flow in a different way. So it's important when you're in that stagnation to pull your attention away from what isn't working and ignite something that feels good. And that helps you
ooh,
become a more in charge of your life, designing your own life, the co-creator of your life. That will help you do that in not just money, but all aspects of your life.
ooh, I love that. Is there any last tip or anything you want to mention about prosperity, money?
Wherever you are right now with money, with the amount that you have in your bank accounts in your life, with prosperity in your life, it can change within seconds. The greatest power that you have is to come right in this moment, because anything can change in just the next breath. Where we go wrong is where we future project. The fact that you might not have money now does not mean tomorrow you won't, or the next day you won't. You never know where the money will come. So when you focus deeply on what you don't have, it 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 begins to create a sort of a bubble around you to create more of that, right? But if you just stay right here, breathe into your nervous system and just let all that stress relax out of your body and move it into the earth. Bring your breath and your attention to right here and now. You can quickly get into a flow again, allowing what wants to come to you. And that is really the key, to release our grip on what isn't happening, as well as our grip on what we think is happening,
Mm.
to allow us to then receive at greater speeds.
I love that you said allow and then receive, because a lot of us want it, but we're not receiving.
And we're
And maybe, right?
correct. Absolutely. We're not allowing us to receive because we have an idea of, one, how it has to come, or two, what your life has to be. But what you do, and it's good to have ideas about where we want to go. But honestly, if someone gives you a Cadillac tomorrow, are you going to say no to that because you never expected it?
Mm.
Right? No, you're not. But if that person is right here and they're like, "Hey, pay attention to me," and you're so focused over here and you can't see this person who wants to give you a Cadillac, you just stop the flow of
Ooh.
receiving and allowing to be served.
Wow, that was powerful. Okay, so Janice, you've given us such incredible information, tips from the prayers to get us into the flow. But can you tell us about your prosperity course or how we can work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for asking. So, I have a course called Money Flow, the vibration of prosperity. And it was a weekend workshop that was pre recorded. But what I decided to do was add some live group calls, group healings, and group clearings, and vibrational activations to help people get into their flow, their unique cosmic flow of money. And every single person manifests in a different way. And so that's what this course is about, is to help you begin to release your blocks. This course is about finding what your conversation with money is, and then allowing for the vibrational remedy to come in. And so that's one way to work with me. And then, of course, some people don't like the group settings and opt to working with me directly in a 3-month container. So that's always fun too.
Well, I'll definitely be sure to drop your information in the show notes.
Thank you.
So to wrap up this episode, I'm going to ask you the closing questions. And the first one, what are 2 of your favorite prosperity affirmations?
All right. So Florence Scoffel Shin is amazing. And she was around in the 20s. And she was talking about affirmations back then. And so one of my favorite affirmations is from her. And it's, unexpected doors fly open. Unexpected channels are free, and endless avalanches of abundance are poured out upon me under grace in perfect ways.
Wow. I love that. All right. The next question. Where is your favorite place to vacation and why?
I have many places on my travel list, but for right now, I've actually just been going to Mexico, Pescadero, which is near Los Todos Santos. And I've been staying there for weeks at a time, allowing myself to just get recharged. The ocean just serves me. But I gotta say, I am looking for my favorite place.
All right. And then the last question. What is your favorite thing about the work you do?
Oh my God, there are so many things I love about my work. But if I had to choose one, it is when that light bulb goes off and they realize how powerful they actually are, how their intuition serves them in a way that not only protects them, but guides them to their next best step. And they say, is this real? You know, are these miracles real? And I get to say, absolutely. And you were the one who did it.
I do hope that you enjoyed my conversation with the modern day mystic, Janice Noehulani, and that you feel more aligned with the cosmic flow of money and prosperity. Remember to dive deeper and join Janice's course. Check out the show notes for all her information and links. Be sure to also download this episode and any other of your favorite Heart to Talk podcast episodes. Share this podcast with all your friends and family. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Otherwise, I'll be back in 2 weeks.